that every rain should have a rainbow as apology for the clouds up above. Do you believe in fairy tales? Do you believe in love? Do you believe the eyes are like a window that share the secrets that burn in your soul? Do you believe that dreams come true? Do you believe in love?
Oh yeah, I believe in love. You know why? Because I'm Joe the Shirt, and I'm off the cuff.
All filled with
Oh yeah.
heartache and...
Welcome back, everybody. So good to be back. Wow, that's 3 times this week. This is my 3rd time this week, which is pretty impressive. I'm enjoying the fact that I'm able to get back to you guys a bit more frequently. Not enjoying not having any money, but I'm enjoying being able to do this more frequently. Let's see. It's an interesting show for me today, I think. It's called Welcome to Earth, What's Your Phobia? And it's something I've been wanting to talk about for a little bit now, phobias in general, and one specific one that I want to talk about today. I don't know, maybe I'll make this a regular part of the show. Who knows? But thank you for all of you for coming. Before I get started into anything else, I wanted to quickly address the last show where I talked a lot about chimps and the propensity for violence and how well it matches up to human violence. That being, saying that meaning that, chimps, much like human beings, are among the few animals on the planet that can conceive of murder. See, most animals, when they kill out of defense or they kill to eat. Chimps and humans are among the very, very, very few animals on this planet that kill with ulterior motives. And I'm not talking, they're just trying to establish, this, that, the other thing. I'm talking they actually plan and murder individuals of their own species with no intention of eating them, no intention of using their skin or pelts for anything. They just kill them because they want to kill them, because there's a purpose behind it. There's an ulterior motive, like I said. And that was a little on the dark side. But the most violent acts among chimps tend to be in your standard full-grown, the chimps you see all the time. These chimps typically average between 160 and 200 pounds, so they're big animals, and range between 4 to 6 times stronger than the average human male. So, you got a chimp coming after your ass, you better hope he just wants to fuck you, because if he's looking to kick your ass, believe me, you don't have any chance. Now, but this, something I meant to mention in the last show is that human beings and chimps share another trait, also decently rare among the animal kingdom, typically reserved for the more intelligent animals in the animal kingdom. And yes, this does include dolphins. Human beings and chimpanzees, especially bonobo chimps, also known as pygmy chimps, pygmy chimpanzees, they're considerably smaller than the average chimp, the average full-grown, standard chimp, if you will. They share a trait common among human beings. Well, maybe not common, but it's more often observed than in other species, and it's very common among dolphins, actually, and that is orgies. Did you guys know that? Did you know that bonobo chimpanzees, human beings, and dolphins all engage in orgy-style sex, group sex? And this type of sex will incorporate both heterosexual and homosexual. And by homosexual, I don't just mean, two males, male on male, but also female on female. Bonobo chimps are known to quite often, actually, engage in group sex with members of the same and opposite sex. Sometimes, two of them doing one at the same time. I mean, yeah, 3 ways, 4 ways, group sex, trade-offs, swappings. Yeah, it happens. So that is, that's a little lighter, I think. Just throw that in there for you guys. I don't want you to think that, our only relationship to chimps is the fact that we're violent assholes. We're also really horny assholes. I said that I'd throw that in there. One of the things I kept forgetting to do all week long, I kept forgetting to do celebrity birthdays. So I got celebrity birthdays for you guys today. And normally I say this for the middle of the show or towards the end of the show, but I'm doing all 5 days this week. So listen and see if any of your birthdays match up here. If you were born on Monday, November 3rd, you share birthdays with Dolph Lundgren, who's 57 years old. Dolph Lundgren, remember him from like Rocky, God knows what, and the Expendables movies. Roseanne Barr, comedian, talk show host, 62 years old. Musician Adam Ant is 60. Dennis Miller, one of my favorite all-time comedians, 61 years old. Kate Capshaw is also 61 years old. Boxing great Larry Holmes is 65. And actor Ken Berry is 81. Most of you are probably thinking, who the fuck is Ken Berry? If you ever watched the show F Troop, he played the captain on that show. So, yeah. But he also appeared on numerous other TV shows, including the Carol Burnett show. So check it. If you don't know anything about it, odds are you've seen him before, you just don't remember the name. Now, Dennis Miller, who just turned 61, I used to work on his show. I used to be the head page on the Dennis Miller Live show, which ran for, I think, about 8 years, actually, on HBO. And it was always a gas, to work that show, because I would be there not just for the taping of the show and dealing with the audience and the VIPs, but I'd also be there during the day when my job was to answer the phone or run errands. I was a gopher basically during the day, and I would get to watch Dennis Miller and his crew, rehearse, and it was always like the most disheartening thing actually, because you like to think that comedians they always practice on their craft and they're always working, they're always rehearsing, but no, in the age of teleprompters, Dennis Miller would just sit in the back row of the theater that the show was recorded in, a studio. And one of his writers would be up on stage going through the jokes, and Dennis would just listen to the jokes, and after every joke he would go, no, 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 yes, no, no. Who the fuck wrote this shit? No, yes. Oh, that's sort of funny. No, no. A little insight into how some talk shows work. If you were born on Tuesday, November 4th, you share a birthday with Sean Diddy Combs, 45 years old. Matthew McConaughey, also 45 years old. All right. Ralph Macchio, the Karate Kid, turned 53. He's not quite a kid anymore. Loretta Swit from MASH, also known as Hot Lips Houlihan, turned 77. Kathy Griffin is 54. TV show host Jeff Probst is 52 years old. Doris Roberts, also known as the mom from Everybody Loves Raymond, turned 84. Presidential honey boo-boo Laura Bush turned 68. And actress Markie Post turned 64. If you don't remember who Markie Post is, she was the hot blonde on, oh my God, what was it? Night Court with Harry Anderson and John Larroquette. And she was hot once, and now she's a senior citizen. If your birthday was Wednesday, November 5th, you share that day with Kevin Jonas of the Jonas Brothers, 27 years old. Canadian singer Bryan Adams is 55. Famke Janssen from the X-Men fame is 50 years old. Bubba Watson from golf fame is 35 years old. Tilda Swinton is 54. You may remember her from a bunch of movies, but the one I always remember her from was when she played an angel in the movie Constantine. Art Garfunkel is 73, looks 93. Sam Rockwell, actor, 46 years old. Singer Ryan Adams is 40 years old. And Pele turned 50. I always say this, but it's like, this is how you know that astrology is bullshit, because so many of these people in these lists could not be more different, yet born on the same day, sometimes the same year, and you're just like, yeah, astrology is bullshit. Okay, if you were born Thursday, November 6th, you share a birthday with Emma Stone, 26 years old. Basketball player Lamar Odom is 35. Acting TV and movie legend Sally Field is 68 years old. Ethan Hawke is 44 years old. Rebecca Romaine, formerly known as Rebecca Romaine Stamos, is 42 years old, still looking hot as shit. And Maria Shriver is 59. And if your birthday happens to be today, November 7th, you share birthdays with actor Christopher Knight, 57 years old. Adam Campbell is 34 years old. Professional WWF, not WWE, WWF wrestler King Kong Bundy is 57 years old, which, considering the profession and a man of the girth that he is, it's amazing that he's lived this long. Singer Joni Mitchell is 71, and singer Lorde is 18 years old. Finally, she's legal. Right on. Oh, my God. I know, we're pretty close to our first break, so let's go through a few short stories, and then we can jump into the meat of today's headline here. You know, welcome to Earth, what's your phobia? I know, I bury the lead a lot. Okay, let's see, here we go. Here's one from Utah. 4 Utah National Guard soldiers are being disciplined for their unauthorized involvement and use of military vehicles in a risque video featuring bikini-clad women firing high-powered weapons and riding in tanks. The $200 cost for military fuel used during the shoot also will be recouped from the soldiers involved. An internal investigation completed Friday found unauthorized guard support was limited to 5 vehicles and 1 boat used as props for the shoot. So they were shooting basically a Girls Gone Wild using military vehicles, military hardware, military weapons on military property. That's your tax dollars at work. Let's see. Here we go. Let's see, from Fresno, here in California, a middle school student was hospitalized after consuming marijuana-laced brownies that he said he purchased from a 12-year-old boy on a Fresno campus. The boy purchased the brownies Wednesday from a 7th grade student at Sequoia Middle School for $5, ate them, and went to visit his dentist. Now, speaking from personal experience, the dentist, Novocaine, and marijuana do not mix very well at all. I remember one time I went to the dentist, and they shot me all full of Novocaine, and I came home, and I was uncomfortable, and I didn't feel good. I wanted to be able to ignore the pain, so I smoked some weed, and before you know it, I was paranoid because I thought the flower on the wall in a picture was looking at me funny. So not a good idea. The student told police that his brother had a medical marijuana license and kept the brownies to treat his back pain. The boy knew the brownies were in the refrigerator and he decided to sell them to other students to make some extra money. And the other kid, of course, was hospitalized. 12 years old. Pussy. Anyway, moving on. If you love Sherlock Holmes and always thought to yourself, you know what, I would love to write a Sherlock Holmes mystery, go ahead. It's fine. You can go ahead and do that, all right? It's public domain. Sherlock Holmes, the stories of Sherlock Holmes written by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle are public domain. You don't need permission. You don't need to pay a fee. You can just sit down and write a Sherlock Holmes mystery using names, characters, places, even storylines from the original books as much as you want. If you want to write a brand new story about Sherlock Holmes, go nuts. If you want to, write a script, for a movie or TV, go ahead. It's free. It's public domain. You can go ahead and do it. Now, the Supreme Court on Monday refused to hear a case brought by Doyle's estate, which claimed that authors who wanted to publish stories about Holmes needed to pay the state a licensing fee. The Seventh Circuit Court of Appeals, Judge Richard Posner, which held that most of Doyle's Sherlock Holmes stories are no longer protected by copyright. So go ahead, Write as many stories about Sherlock Holmes as you fucking feel like. Today's music is brought to you by Troy Klein. The music style he's using, I believe, is called crooning. I might need to look that up. But that was his first song, Do You Believe in Love? Here's his second song, I Don't Want to Be Here Anymore, by Troy Klein. I'm Joe the Shirt. I'm off the cuff. I'll be right back.
There's a place out there I should be going. There's a life out there I should be living. But I'm here instead, lying in my bed, dreaming of a life I should know. There's a girl out there I should be loving. On a starry night with the moonlight glowing, I've got to get out of my head, wake up, I've got an old life to shed. 'Cause I don't wanna be here anymore. I want to run wild and free.
But I want to be here because I'm Joe the Shirt. And I'm off the cuff. Welcome back, one and all. So good for you guys to keep sticking with me no matter what it is I do out here. What was I planning? Oh, yes, we're talking phobias today. Phobias. A phobia is, of course, a fear. We all know what a phobia is. The vast majority of us tend to believe that we don't have any phobias. We admit that we're scared of things. We admit that we are fearful of some things. We admit that we are more often than not willing to avoid certain things. But nobody ever says that they have a phobia. Very rare thing. So I decided to go and check out phobias. I just went through the A's today. The A's are ridiculous. There's like a couple hundred in there of just A starting phobias. But I looked into some of the more interesting ones, at least the ones that made me chuckle. Here's one for you. And if you know what the phobia is, feel free to raise your hand. Here we go. Ablutophobia. Any clues there? Okay, that is a fear of washing or bathing. Ablutophobia. Fear of washing or bathing. That's one of those things where I'm just like, well, maybe you're just lazy. You know, it's just one of those things. It's like, water, soap, Here's one I thought was interesting, was agetophobia. Agatephobia. Fear of insanity. Which is kind of ironic, because that's kind of insane, isn't it? Agliophobia, which I think is something that I think we all generally have. It's a fear of pain. Agoraphobia is another one I think we all share in one stretch or in one way or another. Fear of sexual abuse. I would have to think that this is a bit more common amongst women than men, unless you're a man that happens to be in prison. But generally speaking, men really don't get sexually abused or raped all that often as adults. As children, yeah, sure, no problem. Yeah, you can go ahead, sexually abuse a kid. It's easy. But I'm willing to guess that's more of a female thing. It's one of the things I was talking about my girlfriend. She says that is her number one fear, is fear of rape. You know, and that's understandable. This one made me laugh the loudest today. Lectorophobia. If you have lectorophobia, there's a very good chance you can't live on a farm because you have a fear of chickens. And I wonder, is that only live chickens, or do you go into a panic when you roll up to KFC? You know, it's like, okay, we're gonna get some dinner now. Who wants some KFC? No, chickens! Let's see. Here's allodoxophobia. It's a fear of opinions. Well, you really shouldn't be listening to the show then if this is what you have. Amnesophobia. That's a pretty easy one. It's fear of amnesia. which kind of like makes you doubt yourself, doesn't it? If you have amnesophobia, don't you ever just worry to yourself, did I forget that? Let's see. This one I definitely have. Anglophobia. Fear of England or English culture. For me, it's actually more specific. Fear of English teeth. Let's see. Here's one for all you single ladies out there. Another phobia. Fear of being single. Which I think more people have than not. I think that a lot of people have it, and which is why so many people end up in bad relationships, abusive relationships, sexually frustrating relationships, sexually dead relationships, relationships where you are physically, mentally, emotionally abused. It is the fear of being single. You don't want to be by yourself. You want somebody in your life, even if that person is bad for you. Let's see. This is another one my girlfriend has. Apophobia. Fear of bees. Every summer, we go down to the pool, and every summer we get our floaties out, we put on our sunblock, we bring our Mai Tais with us, and we drink, we float in the pool, we listen to music, and if a bee happens to come within, 30 yards, she goes into a panic and jumps out of the pool and runs away. It's just nuts. Let's see. Here's one. Apotemnophobia. Fear of people with amputations. When I was a kid, I had this, but it was obviously I was a kid. I didn't understand it, but the idea of seeing a human being that didn't have all his parts was a little scary. You ever, and even to this day, whenever I see somebody that's missing an arm or a leg, or even just a finger, it's like I can't help but stare. I'm not afraid anymore, but I can't help but stare. And I stopped being scared of it a long time ago because one of my stepfathers, he's missing one of his thumbs, and it just looks weird. It did. I mean, but there's a difference between missing a thumb and missing your hand, isn't there? Let's see. Here's one that I definitely do not have. Orophobia. That's a fear of gold. Don't have it. If anything, I have a fear of not having gold. And my favorite one for today, actually, no, my absolute favorite one would have to be the fear of chickens. That's the electorophobia. But my second favorite is automatonophobia. Automatonophobia. This is a fear of ventriloquist dummies, wax figures, or anything that isn't human that pretends to be human. So statues, mannequins, that kind of thing. You are scared of toys, basically. That's just the A's. And that's not even all the A's. That's not even a tenth of all the A phobias that I found today. But this brings me up to the phobia I really want to talk to, which is, of course, dentophobia, which, if you hadn't figured it out yet, is a fear of dentists. A lot of people have it, children, full-grown adults, full-grown-ass men that were Marines and went to war are afraid of going to the dentist. Now, when I first heard of dentophobia many, many years ago, I thought to myself, well, they're scared of the pain, they're scared of the drill, the needles, but now as an adult, I experienced dentophobia, but not due to pain. I fear the judgment coming from the fucking dentist and his staff. Have you ever had this happen to you? Have you ever just knew that you need to go to the dentist? There's something wrong with your teeth. There's something wrong with your gums. You got to get it looked at. You got to get it fixed. But you don't go because you don't want to listen to that asshole talk to you about, well, you really should floss more. You really should brush more often. You really should come in more than once every 14 years. Yes, that is approximately about how long it has been since I've been to the dentist. But you have to understand, okay, it's not fear of pain. I'm good with pain. I know there's going to be pain. I have a general fear of pain. Obviously, I don't want people skinning me alive or anything. But, going to the dentist, I know there's going to be pain involved. I know he's going to be doing it. He's going to be doing stuff. He's going to be ripping me up, and then he's going to give me pain meds and hopefully gas during, but pain I accept. But I am more concerned with just dealing with the judgment, that tisk kind of look that they tend to have when, when they ask you questions and you tell them the truth, and they just give you this look like, wow, you're so stupid. Or better yet, when you lie to them, and they know you're lying to them, and they just give you like, really? Are you sure? You brush and floss every day, twice a day? Really? Sure? Is that why I'm removing a shingle off your back molar? Really? Are you sure you brush and floss twice a day? So the reason I bring this up, judgment-wise, and for me it goes beyond judgment, fear of judgment. It's also comes to a fear, not really a fear, but a resentment of dentists. Many years ago, when I was married, my wife and I decided, okay, let's get our teeth checked. It had been, quite a bit of time since either of us had gone to a dentist. We didn't have dental insurance, medical insurance. We were pretty poor. We were starting out, as a newly married couple. But we decided, okay, let's go to the dentist. We found a dentist. They were offering a good deal on exams, cleanings, and scalings, which is a very deep cleaning, as you all know if you've ever been to a dentist. And, all that other stuff. And more than anything else, I had a cracked wisdom tooth, left upper. And it cracked, pieces of it came out. And, I wanted to get my wisdom teeth removed. I couldn't reach back there on a regular basis. It was a pain in the ass, and it was a little uncomfortable, a little painful. So I wanted to get my wisdom teeth removed. That's what I told the dentist. Now, the dentist I spoke with was Dr. Todd. Dr. Todd was the dentist in this particular dental practice that was in charge of the books, charge of the money, the ins and the outs, and all that. Who pays, who doesn't, and who owes, and who's up to date. He was basically the dental accountant, and we had another dentist examine me and my wife, and they told us, you got some plaque here, you got some gingivitis or whatever, and your gums are swollen and mushy, and we're gonna have to do this, that, and the other thing, and we're gonna need to scale your teeth. One quadrant at a time, because it's pretty bad in there. And I was like, okay, fine. And I agreed to this, but I said, well, what about the wisdom tooth? And he's like, well, first let's clean the teeth, scale them back, and then we'll worry about the wisdom teeth. And I'm like, okay, fine. So then my wife and I, we both went through the dental scaling thing. It was 4 weeks of hell, because they did it quadrant by quadrant, and by about the second or third scaling, Dr. Todd came to talk to us and said that, well, we noticed that you have some metal fillings in your teeth. And we're like, yeah. And he's like, well, you should really get them replaced. And we're like, why? And they said, because it's really possible that there's bacteria and other stuff and rotting going on underneath your fillings. And, and I'm like, but you don't know. Can you see that through the x-ray? And he's like, no, we can't see through the x-ray, but we can assume it's there. And I'm like, how can you assume it's there? You don't know. And then he shows me and my wife these pictures of these people. They're like, okay, well, this is what it looked like before we moved the fillings. Then we took them out, and look what was underneath there. It was just like this really gross, disgusting, just vile shit underneath it. And I'm like, and you're saying that that's what's underneath my fillings? And he said, well, it could be. And I'm like, so what is the plan? Well, metal fillings aren't good for you anyway, so we're planning on, removing the fillings, going in there, checking it out, see if there's any bacteria or rottenness going on, bone loss, tooth loss, gum loss, and we're going to in there clean it out and fix it up. And then we're going to give you these enamel fillings, much better for you. They cost quite a bit more, but in the long run, it'll be better for you, And I'll tell you what happened next when I come back from this break. Here's more Troy Klein and his song, You and I Were Meant to Be. I'm Joe the Shirt. I'm off the cuff, and I'll be right back.
Walking walking down the street, shuffling my feet, dreaming of sunshine. The day would be so fine when I'm here with you. But you're out of reach again, and so I descend to the present. The weather's not so pleasant, think I'll stay inside. I could get lost in the rain and wander for hours, but my will is weak and I don't have the powers to keep from dreaming of you. Now, girl, I've known from the start, so please don't depart. You cannot deny my love to reply. Believe me, I'm down
Show
on
the
my
shirt.
knees.
It's off the cuff! I'm such an asshole, but I'm so good at it, though. Okay, we're talking about my last trip to the dentist with Dr. Todd. And Dr. Todd, he was trying scare tactics on me, and they didn't work. Then he tried scare tactics on my ex-wife, and they worked considerably for her because they told her that, well, there's this, is that, this, and you agreed to do this, that, and the other thing. But now we're thinking that if you don't do this particular laser procedure, which is another, $500 on top of what you're already paying, there's a really good chance you're going to lose all your teeth. And she started to cry in the chair. She tells me about this afterward. After she tells me what he said and all these things he said, and I was just like, what a fucking asshole. And so then I went home and I called my buddy Jonathan Morris. Last time I checked, he still lives in New York, who is a dentist, okay? We went to college together. He was a college roommate of mine, very good friend of mine, long time ago. Haven't spoken with him in a long, long time, which is a sad thing. But he was a dentist. I still had his phone number, and I contacted him. And I asked him about all this stuff. I asked him about the fillings and the laser treatment and all this shit. And he said, you know what, Joe, as a dentist, the laser treatment thing sounds like a lot of bullshit because there's no outside evidence that anything is really wrong. As for your fillings, he says it's possible that he's right. He says it's very unlikely. But also, as for the whole metal filling things, as opposed to the enamel ones, he said, you know what, Joe? The other day, I took out some guys' metal fillings because one of them had cracked. I took out the metal fillings. A couple of them had cracked. You know what I put back in there? Metal fillings. And so we went back to the doctor and we said, you know what? We're going to just go with what we agreed to do, what we want to do. Both want the scaling, and whatever we need after that, we'll discuss after that. But I'm not going to pay for laser surgery on a mouth that we don't know whether or not it actually needs it. I'm not going to pay to replace fillings that we don't know whether or not it needs it right now. I want to finish the scaling, and I want to get my wisdom teeth removed. And he's like, fine, if that's the way you want to be about it. Yeah, that's the way I want to be about it. That's the way you advertise it. All right, asshole? So just do it. So, he was all bitchy about it, and I wanted to bitch slap him from here to next fucking week. I really did. But, we decided to just go through. He wasn't doing the work on us, actually. It was a dental assistant, a dental technician that was doing the work on us at this time, doing the scaling and the cleanings. And when we came in for our fourth scaling, the last one, the dental technician, very lovely Mexican young woman, very pretty, she says to me, "Did you hear about Dr. Todd?" And I was like, "No, what's going on with Dr. Todd?" And she goes, "He died." Which is exactly what I did right there in the table. While she's got my mouth open, she's got like a drill going in and out of my gums, and I'm like laughing my ass off because the dentist died. Not a dentist. This dentist died. He was an asshole, okay? And you know what? He died, and I'm glad he's dead. And then I asked, well, what did he die of? And she said, well, people are saying it was a heart attack, but everybody here around the office thinks that somebody may have killed him, somebody may have murdered him. Well, because I don't know if you noticed, but Dr. Todd is kind of an asshole. And I'm like, really? He was an asshole? No kidding. And Dr. Todd died. Last time I checked, it was due to a heart attack. He died. He was 30 years old. Okay, he was 30. And he died. And I'm glad. Fuck him. And since then, I have not been to a dentist. And the reason I bring this up is because I recently just got medical and dental insurance. Thank you, Obamacare. Fuck you, Republicans, on that one. But I'll be able to see a dentist. I'll be able to see a doctor. I'll be able to get myself checked out finally for the first time in a couple of years. And he died. And by the way, to this day, still have my wisdom teeth. They never got around to it. After we got done with the scaling, I was so sick and tired of them, I just didn't want to deal with them anymore. So I still have a cracked wisdom tooth in my left upper quadrant, and the other ones are coming in, and they're not growing in the way they should be. So I'm going to be needing surgery and shit. So, and like I said, and pretty soon I'll be able to go see a dentist, and I don't want to deal with the judgment. I don't want to deal with them. He's giving me that tisk kind of look. You know what I mean? Dentophobia. That's today's phobia for the day. One of the things I like to talk about on this show is women. As you all know, I love women. Big fan of women. There was something that came out recently about Renee Zellweger. You remember the chipmunk woman? She looks like a chipmunk. Remember that? All those movies. What was it? Me, Myself, and Irene. Bridget Jones' Diary. All that other shit. In my opinion, not a particularly good actress. Definitely not a particularly attractive actress. Cute at the absolute best. She qualified as cute. Nowhere ever was she ever cute. Was she ever sexy or hot? All right. Now, apparently, she's caused quite the stir. She recently appeared in public at some award show where nobody recognized her. Apparently, she'd gotten some surgery done, some plastic surgery done, and I'm looking at the pictures. They're doing a side-by-side comparison of what she looked like when she was 26 and what she looks like now that she's, I believe, in her 40s. And I'm telling you, I showed the picture, the after picture, to my girlfriend, the Russian, and I said, "Can you tell me who this is?" And she looked at it, and she looked at it, and she looked at it, and she had no fucking clue who the hell it was. And then I showed her the other picture of who it actually was, when she knew it from all those years ago, and she's just like, "Holy shit!" Did not recognize. I'm looking at the picture right now, and it is. I'd be hard pressed to tell you that the only thing that looks right is her chin. Beyond that, it does not look like her. And a lot of people, a lot of the news media were very critical of her. It's like, oh my God, who the hell is that? That's not Renee Zellweger, is it? And it's like, yeah, it is. And I'm like, holy shit, doesn't look anything like her. And mind you, she's, I think, about 45, 46 years old, and she looks fine for a 45, 46-year-old woman. She really does. She looks, she looks good for a woman her age. But she doesn't look like Renee Zellweger, okay? And a lot of people are talking about how it seems to be a sin in Hollywood for a woman to get older, an actress to get older. Men get older, we get distinguished, we get that salt and pepper thing going on. George Clooney has nailed the salt and pepper thing, okay? We first saw him as a little teen heartthrob back in The Facts of Life, the TV show The Facts of Life. You remember that? Okay. Then we saw him again in Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. Then we saw him again on ER, he was everybody's favorite doctor on ER. And then we saw him on other TV shows and movies galore. He's had an incredible career, but he's always looked like George Clooney. And we accept that, just like Sean Connery. We saw Sean Connery in the old, James Bond films. Then we see him in modern films, and it's like we still see that's Sean Connery. You look at Renee Zellweger and a lot of other actresses. Jennifer Grey being another one from Dirty Dancing? She had a nose job done, and she looked like a completely different human being as well. And I think that this particular article misses the point it's not that we're criticizing her for having plastic surgery. That's fine. I know lots of women that have had plastic surgery on their faces, and they get things tightened, they get things shaved down, they get things plumped up, they get things lifted, they get things lowered, whatever. And that's fine, as long as you still basically look like who you are. You may have noticed, Goldie Hawn and Joan Rivers, before her death, were becoming quite the set of ghouls. All right, you look at Goldie Hawn; she looks like the Joker's sister these days. All right, so it's one of those things. It's one of those things. You know what? People say that once you get a tattoo, you get addicted to getting tattoos. You want to get more and more tattoos. I didn't find that to be true. I have a tattoo. I have one tattoo. Have not felt the necessary urge to go out and get another one. My girlfriend has 2 tattoos. And they told her the same thing. It's like, oh, you're going to want to get more. And she's like, no, probably not. And she doesn't. Her last tattoo was like over 10 years ago. But it's something that some people do. They start getting tattoos and they have tattoo fever. They have to have more and more tattoos. Well, a lot of people, especially women, tend to get more and more plastic surgeries. They keep looking at their faces. They keep looking at their bodies and saying, well, this could be a little higher. This could be a little rounder. This could be a little fuller. This could be a little smaller. And before you know it, they look nothing like the people they were. And I think it's terrible. I think, I'm of the opinion that, you should be allowed to age gracefully if you want to do that. If you want to go out and get surgery to make yourself look younger or thinner or have bigger boobs or have calf implants. I knew one girl, she was really a small, thin girl. She wanted to get calf implants. And I was like, no guy's looking at your calves. But she wanted them. And I think I think that's way worse than the idea of wanting to look young. Is just the idea of wanting to look different. I mean, look, I'll be the first one to admit to you, there's some really ugly fucking people on this planet, okay? And I would definitely say, yeah, you need a nose job. Yeah, you want to get that eye fixed. Yeah, I think that third chin might want to go, and the second one for that matter. Yeah, sure. That hair lip looks nasty. Yes, it does. Yes, it looks like you have a black hole that starts from your lip and goes all the way up to your left nostril. Yeah, you want to get that fixed. But but like I said, I never thought Renee Zellweger was particularly attractive. Cute, chipmunky at best. But she wasn't an ugly woman. She wasn't an unattractive woman. I still would have fucked her, But, and I'd fuck her now. But my point being, she doesn't look like Renee Zellweger anymore. I'll see if I can post that picture for you guys, okay? Oh, my God. I tell you, the day just goes by too fast. There's more news from Halloween. Apparently there was a few Halloween sweeps in L.A. County. L.A. County officials targeted 66 of the highest-risk child predators. 4 of them were arrested. Let's see. Law enforcement officers checked the homes of dozens of L.A. County sex offenders on Friday, that was Halloween, in a pre-dawn Halloween compliance sweep that led to the arrest of several people, including one offender found living at a daycare center. Okay, that probably goes against his probation. Probably. No, his parole, excuse me. It probably goes against his parole. A 22-year-old convicted sex offender was living with his mother, who ran a daycare center out of her home. A 9-year-old girl and infant boy also lived in the home, located at 2400 block of Copper Hill Drive. The police that identified the man as Leonardo Rosales and said he was arrested on suspicion of violating his probation. 3 more people were arrested during a sweep in Pomona, where probation officers found convicted sex offender Christopher McQueen, 31 years old, living at a house with a 10-year-old girl. McQueen, police said, had a 2012 conviction for committing lewd acts on a child, was arrested on suspicion of violating his probation. The girl was found sleeping in a bed with another man, who Lynn said was arrested on 2 outstanding warrants. Her mother was also arrested was also at the Orange Grove Avenue house and was arrested on suspicion of child endangerment, who was identified as Teresa Barragan. Now, one of the things that they look for when they're, it's not just enough that, it's bad enough, maybe you're living with a child, you're living where children, exist, but they were also looking for whether or not you had costumes, Halloween decorations, or candy in your home that may be used as enticements for children. In any case, that is my time. Last song now by Troy Klein. It's called As Life Goes On. Thank you for listening. I'm Joe the Shirt, and I've been off the cuff.
Wash away my tears. Let the shadow